I used to think that there was really no correlation between the reflection I was getting in the mirror to what my expression was on the face. And what I used to do is if there was something that I wanted to change on the outside, what I would do is I would try to change things on the outside. And I would go and it would almost be like I was looking at myself and I'd be like, and I'd be like trying to move and to smile. And of course we know that that's ridiculous. What you have to do is you have to first off change the expression on your face, and then the mirror reflection changes. The problem is that there's so many people, and even myself for years, I didn't know the correlation. But the more I've gone through my own spiritual awakening, the more I've gone through my own spiritual process, the more I realize that literally everything is a mirror reflection in life. It is mirroring back what we believe to be true about ourselves. If we believe we're worthy or not worthy, we'll get a reality that is equal to that. If we believe and have a story that love is hard, then it will be hard. If we have a story that I can't go full time with my passion, then that will be the case. Everything is being reflected back. That's why there's so many mirrors in the background right here. Look at all those mirrors. Just because I want to illustrate the point that everything in life is a mirror. And in this video, what I'm going to show you is exactly step by step how to change the mirror reflection by changing the expression and what to do about that. And I really think that this video could be the one that changes everything in your life. I've been going through and making videos on YouTube for 3 years now, and this, I would say, is it. This is the most powerful idea that if you apply will plant a seed that will transform your life more than anything else. Here's something too. Sometimes this isn't always an easy pill to swallow. And what I mean by this is this actually happened to me a couple days ago. I realized something, and at first I was real convinced that I was right in this situation, but then I looked a little bit deeper and I could see what it was reflecting back to me. Now what happened is I had somebody that I was hiring to help me understand a little bit more about my business and stuff like that. And what I did is I had a call with this person, and then on the phone they said, oh, by this date, by like 3 days from now, I'm gonna have this information to you. Some information about what we were gonna work on together. It has to do with business stuff. And I was like, okay, they said this, and I've been really all about like being impeccable with my word, which means that anything I say I'm gonna do, I do it. So I was like, okay, it's gonna be here by this date, and then we're gonna get on the call in a week from now and go to the next step. Well, that day came around and it wasn't there, and I was kind of irritated about that. I was like, well, this person said it would be here, but it's not here. So in a way, I felt like, because of that, I was like, do I really even want to work with this person? And then a couple days later, we ended up, getting on the call. I had to ask actually, hey, can you send this to me? I know you said you would. Can we get it? And then we can move ahead. And then they did. And then what happened is we got on the call and it got rescheduled. Like before the call, it was like, oh, we need to reschedule because something came up. And then that kind of irritated me too. And what I was going to do is I was going to message and be like, hey, part of me was like, hey, is this a shadow thing? I was talking to my buddy Drew about it, who has like really good insights and stuff. And I realized that maybe sometimes I'm being too nice about things. I'm like, hey, no, like this is when we said we're going to talk. I'm busy too. Also felt like maybe it wasn't valuing my time. So I was going to have this like conversation. However, what ended up happening is I had this realization in that moment. I always, in a way, I mean, this is kind of like a belief, but I even had like, there's times when there are people that are late and it really bugs me, or they had to reschedule because I already had something planned. And the thing that I realized about this is, even though that's like a little like quirk that I have where I don't like that, I realized I was getting ready to like say, hey, this isn't okay. This isn't how we do business. We need to start just being on time and doing what we're saying we're going to do. The first time we ever got on a call was a 15-minute call. Because of the time difference, it's kind of an excuse, but because of the time difference, and I ended up missing the call by like half an hour. So the same thing that I was getting mad for was actually a mirror, because I was actually doing that in my life without even knowing it. I was able to become aware that there's times I say I'm gonna do things that then I don't do. And it's much less than it used to be. I've really been getting clear on this because I've been doing also a lot of masculine polarity work on myself, which means I've become very aware of one of the things with masculine energy is that you're whatever you say you're going to do, you do it, because it has to do with trust. I have to have the trust in myself to then also be able to contain that energy. And now I have it to where anything I say I'm going to do it. And having that mentality really helps with just my life in general. But it's funny because as I was looking deeper into these things, I was realizing that one, I have a story that a lot of times people are late, even like my handyman, the guy that comes and works in my house in Vegas, really nice guy. But there's times he'll be like, okay, anytime he says he's going to be somewhere at like 2, he's going to show up at 4 or 5. It's always 2 or 3 hours later. Maybe that's a story, but what I've realized is it's funny because when I stopped being nice about it, I was like, nope, you need to be here at this time or we're not going to do the business or, I can't have it done because I'm busy. I have other things to do. Then that kind of solved it, but also I had to let go of my own belief and me not being late for other things. So in another way, my buddy, I'd go to the gym sometimes with my buddy Victor back in Vegas, and sometimes I'd realize I'd be like 15, 20 minutes late because a lot of times I'd be assuming, oh, he wants to stretch and stuff like this. But if I'm going to say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. That's the mentality. So reality is always reflecting back to us what we are embodying. And a lot of times we'll find that the things that we don't like, that other people do, it's a mirror for something we do at a level that we're maybe not aware of it at. So that's been very interesting for me. So a lot of this has to do with simply becoming aware of that. And I'll share with you exactly how to do this. So step by step, exactly how I apply this is I realize first off, all outer reality is a reflection of the inside. So what I do is I then look inside. Sometimes we call this self-inquiry. We look inside and we say, what is this showing me? So when it came to that thing I was mad at or like irritated with, I was realizing, wait, I was late for the first 15-minute call. So this is actually showing me something about myself. And what I need to do, if I want that to change on the outside, I have to change. And then if I want to hold someone accountable, I can. But I can't hold someone accountable if I'm doing the same thing that I'm getting angry at. I'm a vibrational match to it. I either think I'm worthy of it or I'm outputting that energy as well. So that's the first thing to realize, is to realize that it's not about blaming anything. Like, of course, if I was over here and I was looking at my reflection in the mirror, I wouldn't blame the mirror for the sad face like this. I wouldn't blame the mirror. I would blame myself. I would take responsibility for it. I'd say, you know what? I'm gonna smile, like that, So then as I smile, guess what? And I'm laughing, the mirror changes. It's the same way in life. So sometimes the mindset people have been socially conditioned into is that the outer reality, the mirror reflection, is set. And it's not your fault. And it's not your fault. It's you have to take responsibility for it. You have to take responsibility for that. I had to look at myself, do the self-inquiry and say, oh, what is this showing me? I had to take responsibility for the times that I am late. And as I look at that, I can then see and I can then make a new choice about who I am. So it's self-inquiry. What is this showing me? And then taking responsibility, which is the third one, and then making a new choice about who you are. A new choice about who you are and then embodying that. So 90% of all transformation, of changing anything on the outside, is simply awareness. Awareness that everything is connected to you. Everything is a reflection. And then what you do, as you become aware, 90% equals awareness, you feel whatever emotions come up, you let it be okay that you feel certain emotions. Even when I got angry at that, I was like feeling the anger that I was feeling. I was like, okay, I'm feeling it, frustrated, feeling this way. I wasn't really angry. I was just frustrated. But as I felt it, you feel, you heal. And in order to change reality, you must first change yourself. You must change. And the way you change is you make a new choice about who you are. That's it. I remember when I was first off getting on YouTube, for example. I had all these stories that were being reflected back to me. I'm not good enough. I'm not credible. That was a big one because I was like, I'm just sharing YouTube videos and topics I learned while working a 9-to-5 sales job. What I've learned using the law of attraction to make commission sales. This isn't I don't have a law of attraction degree. I can't make YouTube videos on this. But that was my reflection. That was blocking me. That was stopping me. And what I had to eventually do is look at myself. What is this showing me about me? That was showing me that I had a low sense of self-worth, that I didn't think I was enough. And then what I did is I also had stories like, oh, you don't have the right camera equipment, you don't have this, you don't have that. Those are all just stories that were being reflected back to me because of where I was and what I was being. And I was being a 9-to-5 job goer. I was just going to my job every day and I wasn't actually acting as the full-time YouTuber. But then what I did is I made a new choice about who I am. I took responsibility for where I was, and then I just decided if I want the outer reality to change, I have to change. And the way that I changed is I made a new choice about who I am at the identity level. Everything changes in your life when you change your identity, the way you see yourself, your self-image. And realize that the current self-image you have was most likely made on autopilot. The image I had where I worked a 9-to-5 job, I felt unworthy because of my past, I felt like I had ADHD because I had so much energy. Those were all just things that were given to me that I agreed to. But that's why responsibility is key. You have to agree, realize that you agreed to it. You have to take responsibility for that because you cannot change what you do not own. Otherwise, it's just the reflection. It's the reflection's fault. And we know that that's ridiculous, an analogy, but that's how many times people go about it. You can change like this when you make a new choice about who you are. It doesn't need to take a long process, and if it is, then it's just a reflection of what you believe. Everything is a reflection of the story we tell ourselves about who we are, what we're capable of, and what we're worthy of. And the cure to all of this is simply self-inquiry. What is this showing me about me? Because remember, there is only you. I talked to my buddy Drew when I was like going through that thing where I was like, oh, he wants to reschedule, and then it kind of gets in the way the next day because of the time difference. And the way he explained it to me really resonated. It was like, dude, everything in life is a reflection. That lady is like this person is like a backdrop in your life that is showing you some type of energy about yourself. Not in a negative way, but that's what's happening. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. This is just like, this is the awareness. And that changed everything. So the key to this process is becoming aware of these things, going through the self-inquiry. What is this showing me? Taking responsibility, making a new choice about who you are. 90% of this process is awareness. And remember, anything you want to achieve on the outside, you do by first off changing on the inside. And the way you do that is by taking responsibility for where you are and making a new choice about who you are and then wiring that in every single day. And as you do that, you'll find that everything begins to change. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Can you like this video if you liked it? Share it if it resonated with you. And as always, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, much love, and namaste.